Hi there, welcome to this webinar about GoFormative and Kahoot. My name is Andrea Blankenship and I am one of the I3s at Saxe High School, and joining me is Amy Davis, an I3 at Lakeview. So today we're going to talk a little bit about a couple of resources, doing some formative and informative assessments. Amy is hopefully going to be moderating. We're having a little bit of trouble setting a moderator, but we're trying our best to make that work. So everything that I'm going to show you today is something that your students can use with the iPads. If you teach high school, then you've got the one-to-one devices, but any grade level, any student that has any access to web-based technology, what we're showing you today will work just perfectly. So I'm hoping that after you watch and learn a little bit about GoFormative and Kahoot, that hopefully that will kind of change your perspective on not just assessing with paper and pencil. So sometimes it's easier just to print your test and hand it to the kids, and some do really well that way. But after doing this for a while, I'm sure all of us know that not all kids perform well with paper pencil, and so hopefully these two resources will offer you an alternative, and it will give kids a different way to show you their knowledge from what you've taught. So using either resources today, hopefully it will help you get your class engaged. My favorite part is both of these resources save me time in grading, which is a very big help. And it makes teaching a little more fun and assessing more fun for the kids, especially when you're doing it in a gaming format. So as teachers, it's really rewarding to see our students do well and especially give us proof of what they've learned in our classes. So hopefully today we will find some ways to help kids express their knowledge in ways that can be more fun. Our ISTE standard today is empowered learners. I feel like when we give students a choice on how they can show us their knowledge, that we really up their chances of success and engagement in our classes. So hopefully trying some new technology will get your kids involved in showcasing their answers to you in a different way. As you have questions today, please feel free to comment, and I just posted Amy and my email address in our Twitter accounts. You're welcome to follow us on Twitter and email us with any questions at any time that you watch the webinar. So thanks for joining us, and I'm just going to get right in and start talking about GoFormative to get us started today. GoFormative is a free account for educators, and the screen that you're seeing right now is what mine looks like just because I've already created an account. But when you log into GoFormative, it's going to give you a prompt right in the middle of the screen that says open a free account as an educator, and all you have to do is log in with your email. And what I really like is it gives you the opportunity to log in with your Google credentials, which makes linking your assignments really easy in the future. So I did log in with my Google credentials, and I'll show you how that benefits me in just a few minutes. I really like GoFormative for several reasons. It's a really nice platform to use for getting quick feedback. It's great for exit tickets. It's just like the name. It's a great formative assessment tool because you can create a quiz or a test in here. But something I really like and I'm really pleased with is that you can add videos on GoFormative. And for those days when you have a substitute and maybe you're not sure who will be there, you can actually do a flipped classroom method and record your lesson or some instructions for your students, post it into GoFormative, and then leave them further instructions or some questions. So I'm going to show you how to do those things. And let's just, before we create a new formative, I'm going to show you what I like, and that is how to access some things that have already been created. There's a little link. If you click on the top right with the question mark and you scroll down to community resources, There's a really nice bank of assessments that are already made that you can use for yourself. Once you get here, you just go to the library. And you can see it's divided by subject areas. So I'm just going to pick one real quickly and show you. Let's see, let's try ELA. We're rolling a little slowly today. All right, here we go. It's really nice. It's got it organized by grade level in the left column. And then under title of formative, it usually gives you a clue, but then it talks about the skill and the standard right beside it. So I'm just going to scroll down. I will just, let me just pick something. How about phones? We'll try this one. So all you do is click here on the link to one that has already been created. And then for time purposes, I'm just going to go ahead and clone this activity instead of looking at it first, just so we can keep moving. But I'm going to hit clone, and it's going to load this one into my bank of formatives. And we really are moving so slowly today on this computer. Here we are. So right here, the first thing you can do is you can alter the title. Now that you've cloned it, it belongs to you, and any changes you make will not affect the original creator of this. So you can change the name completely. You can scroll through and look at the questions that are already creative. You can change the answer choices, add more, and I'll show you how to do that in a few minutes when we start from scratch. But this is really great if you find someone who's got a topic you are covering as well. So now I'm going to flip back and just show you how to create a formative on your own. So starting from the beginning, you have multiple ways that you can add things or different types of questions. So let's just, you are required to enter a title. So we'll just go ahead and call this practice. And then we're going to get started right away with adding. So the first thing we'll do is we will add a short answer. And all you do is click there. There's tons of options, as you can see right now. So go ahead and we'll make up a question. How was your day? And then right here, you can start typing in a correct answer. So short answer is really good for just quick feedback for your students. But I will say in creating short answers, I find it a little tricky to set a correct answer from the teacher perspective, because if a student doesn't, if I say that the correct answer is fine and a student doesn't answer it the exact way I do, then it's going to mark it wrong. So a lot of times on short answer, I will just leave the answer without adding the correct answer. You can also come over here when you're creating and you can change the point value for your question. So I may have only one question and make this one worth 100 points. If I don't like the question, I can come and delete with the trash can, or I could clone this exact question and change up the answer choices if I wanted to. So it's really nice. So short answer is pretty quick and easy. Now we're going to move to multiple choice. And I'm just going to go through these really quickly. So just like creating any other test, you just make up your question. What is the date? And then you can keep the A and type your answer choice, or you can delete the A and we'll just call this November 13th. If I only want to have 2 choices, I can delete the others. Right over here, personalizing it just the way I want. And as I'm creating this, I want to go ahead and mark what the correct answer is so that when students will take this later, it will grade it for them. So short answer, multiple choice, pretty quick and easy. Now I'm going to show you my favorite one, which is called Show Your Work. I love Show Your Work. Kind of gives you a blank canvas right here. So I find this really helpful for multiple ways. I can load a picture in this background, and I could put a grid and have students plot some points here, or I could put a picture of a map and I can have students label different things on the map. And what is so great about the show your work part is whatever I put in as a background, when it becomes the student, it's live for a student to alter, everything they do will show up on top of my background. So it's really easy to grade the work that your kids have done. And again, you can alter the point value, or you could clone, if you have a map, you could clone the same exact picture and have them identify different things as you go through. I really like this one. I think it's really neat. You could just put a question in here with no background and say, draw a picture of your favorite animal. And then when they open theirs, they've got this blank background and it gives them tools. They can use a pencil or a paintbrush and they can create something on the blank background. So I really like to show your work. And then the last one I'll show you for right now is how to embed a video or an image, but I'm going to show you video real quickly. And this is what I was talking about. If you were having a sub or if you've got video clips that you need kids to watch and respond to, it's great. You just post your clip right here. And I'm not going to do it just to save time, but you would just post your clip here and then you would add your questions. I would just go in and add either short answer or multiple choice, and they can respond to the video that they've just watched. It's really a great option. Okay, so I'm going to show you, once you've finished creating this assignment, I'm going to show you how to assign it to your students. Up at the top right corner, it's pretty easy to spot. It's the green box. Once you click on it, you can see that this is linked to my Google account because my Google Classrooms, all of my classes pop up. So I have several options. So if I choose to assign this to all of my human growth classes or just one, then I'll come down here and I really love this. So I return scores. It automatically grades this as kids complete it. I can return their scores instantly when the session's over, after they submit their work, or I can just leave it to decide later. I always do after someone submits their work or decides later. A lot of times kids want that quick feedback, so after they submit is a good thing to do. And then on returning correct answers, this is one that I always do decide later because kids are finishing up at different times and I don't love them sharing their correct answers with their partners, but I like that it gives you options. And so I'm going to say decide later. And then if I want to post it to my Google Classroom, I just click the little toggle bar and I would click assign. However, I'm going to show you a different way to do this. In order to get a class code, I have to click on guest student and take it off of Google Classroom. I really like using the code. Even if I am sharing this assignment in my Google Classroom, I like the code the best just for several reasons. Sometimes I've posted this to the Google Classroom and questions might look to be in a little bit of a different order. So I've had the best luck with this. So if I do guest students, again, I can choose these same things. And when I do assign, it gives me this guest code. And usually I will just copy the code and post it to my classroom. And kids will log in to GoFormative and enter their code. I can offer them a link that I can attach in the Google Classroom, or I can post this up on the screen in my room, whichever works best for you. So this is how that works. So once a student has gone in and they've completed their work, I'm going to show you what you would see as a teacher. So let me go back to my home screen. And you can see right here, as students have completed something in this first column, it will show you how many students have answered something. So I'm going to click on this one that I had a couple kids help me out with earlier, and I can see that both students on here have completed 3 questions, and here's what's so nice. I can export their grade to Google Sheets or to a spreadsheet, and my grading is done for me. So this just saved me a lot of time. And not to mention, the students already got their feedback with their answers. Up here is the guest code again, just in case you need to share it with a student who is absent. You've always got access to it when you go to view what's going on. So that's GoFormative in a nutshell. And there are tons of options, but I just hit on a few of them. So now I'm going to flip on over to Kahoot, which is pretty much a class favorite over here. So for Kahoot, it's really similar to GoFormative, but it seems to be a little bit more game style, which the kids like quite a bit. So this is my home screen on Kahoot after I've created an educator account, and the process is almost identical to GoFormative. It's free educator account. You can log in with an email, or you can log in with your Google credentials, which I just recommend doing if you're using the Google Classroom. So once we're in, your screen will look like this, other than the fact that it won't have Kahoots listed just yet. But I love to start with finding Kahoots just to see. There are tons and tons of them that are so good. And I like to flip through here first to see if anybody's got something I need, or if someone's got a great activity that goes along with what I've been working on. So I can scroll through, I can go down to the bottom, and I can look by different topics, and they're pretty good. You can see that they're used a lot. This one has tons of views, so that lets me know it's probably one I should check out. Some of them are brand new and were just posted, and I'm going to show you what happens when you click on somebody else's Kahoot and how to make it your own. So I'm just going to choose Veterans Day. And once it loads, I'm going to go ahead and view it before I decide. I'm going to scroll through and look at the questions. You can even click over here and see what the answer choices look like. And so I think this one's great and I love it. So I'm going to duplicate this. When I duplicate it, it makes it mine, and any changes that I make to it in the future do not affect the original writer of this Kahoot. So now I've got my own version. I can go in and edit different things and make it work for me. I love on Kahoot that you can set time limits for each question, but I'll show you how to do that in just a second when we create our own. So once I've gone through, if I like everything on here or I changed anything up, I just click Save. The nice thing about using Kahoot and using GoFormative is students don't necessarily have to create an account. As a teacher, you have the option to create a class, and then you can assign things to your students that way. But it's really so easy just to generate the class codes and have students log in and assess or get to their assessments that way. All right, so this is what I would do. And then if I'm ready to play it, I would click here. I also love where it says share it. So you can share the Kahoots that you've created or found with your partners, and everyone in your department, if they're covering the same topic, has access. It's just great. So now let's create a Kahoot, and we'll just do a really quick one. So you go up here to new, and there are several options. You can do a quick survey. So you could just generate one question and have students answer it quickly, and I'll show you a sample in just a second. Or you can do these quizzes, which is like creating a game. I will say on Kahoot, adding images to your Kahoot, to your questions, and to your front page just kind of draws the kids in a little more. But all you do is create your title, very similar to the other format. You do have to give a description. And I've made the mistake of typing a question here before instead of just a description. So I might just say, having fun, join along and answer the questions. And then I'll select an audience. I always do school just because it's for my kids. This is where I would upload an image that goes along with the type of Kahoot, and it's super easy. I'll show you real quickly. So I would just upload an image that I've already saved either to my desktop or my drive. And let's see, we'll just use this one. So once I've got my title, I go up to the right, okay, and go. And now is where I start adding my questions, and they call it the game creator. So again, you can add a video, and you could have students respond and give them some answer choices, or you can upload an image and do the same. So I'm going to give you a real quick rundown of how to do this. You can alter the amount of time it takes kids, and then you can go in here and set your questions or your answer choices. And then once you've finished creating your answer choices, you're going to click beside it to indicate that's the correct answer. You can also give kids points, because when they participate in a Kahoot, you'll see in just a minute they can participate individually or as a team. So we're going to say that we are all the way done with this one, and we're going to save it. And now I'm ready to play. So once you get to this point, this is how you can share it with your kids. So the way I would do this is put it up on my projector in my classroom, and I would have my students log into Kahoot.it. And once I've started this particular Kahoot, it's going to generate a code, and kids will enter that code. So this is something that I really like about Kahoot. I'm going to choose Classic, where each kid plays against the other. And there we go. Something I really like about Kahoot, and I just skipped by it a second ago, but you can actually have Kahoot generate student names for you, or player names, and that might help you out if you have kids that want to be fancy and enter in who knows what name. So I always like to have Kahoot generate the name. And here's your game pin. I posted up on the screen. And then when I see that players have joined down here at the bottom, the correct number that I need, I just do start. And it's not going to let me since I don't have players, but I'm going to show you once it's completed how you can go in and see what your kids answered, or see how to get a grade. So once kids have completed their Kahoot, this is what their screen, or my screen, would look like. It shows me they got 2 out of 2 right, and here's their points. And then I would go to the next screen where it says get results, and this is what would pop up. It would show me exactly each student, and I can post this up on the screen. No one knows which student made what. And then once you go to save your results over here in the top right-hand corner, you have a couple of options. You can either download your answers, or you can save it to your drive. I love Google, so I save it to the drive, and then it shows me my game results after I save it. And here's what would pop up. It would go and it says Kahoot results, all about the seasons. If that were that's the name of a Kahoot that they've already completed. And then it shows me how many people got certain questions correct, and it shows me their grade. And this makes downloading to my grade book so much faster and easier, because everything is right in front of me. So I know I've gone through quickly, and it's just a brief overview of both of these, but I hope that you'll just see that you can find a pretty quick and easy way to set up your assessments in your classroom and get your kids involved. The kids really love the music that goes with Kahoot, and it feels like a game to them, especially when they get to work against each other. And you have several options where you can give them points for having the top first, second, or third place scoring. So it's really nice. It's a good way to get some competition going in your classroom. anybody has any questions, please feel free to post those in the chat. And I believe Amy is responding to any. And if you aren't sure about what questions and you have any as you start creating, here are our email addresses again, and please feel free to email with any questions you've got, and I'll be happy to answer those for you. Follow us on Twitter at these email addresses, and don't forget that you can go to GISD and log into your website under staff, and you can go to your library resources and find tons of resources there, Discovery Education, and also check Sched because lots of the I3s are posting tons of webinars. Am I posting it or you? Okay. I'm going to go ahead and post the link so that you can receive credit because our moderation is not working very well today. So if you will bear with me for a quick second, I'm going to post the link to get credit. Can we create a Google social study right now? I'll be happy to, could I email someone and walk them through? I'll try it. Let me see if I can. Let me post this link for credit, and then we'll see if we can create a fast Kahoot real quickly. I'm stuck in Kahoot right now. Okay, let's see. I'm just going to post a Google Doc, and I'm going to bear with me. I'm going to post the link, I promise. All righty, here's our link. Oh my goodness. Oh, I'm going to try this one more time. Thank you. All right, here's a doc. I'm really sorry that you're waiting so long, but I really appreciate it. Okay, here is. It's too late now. It's already on there. Here's the link for CPE credit. And if for some reason this does not work for you, please email. I'm going to put Brian Dean's email address on here. Just go to bdean@Garland ISD, and he will be happy to email you this link so that you can receive credit for this full 30-minute webinar. Thanks for joining us today. I really appreciate it. We're done. And so I'm going to stay on a little bit longer for the person who wanted me to run through a quick social studies. Brian's going to add it in the chat. Okay, thank you, Brian. Okay, I'm just talking extra now. What am I creating? What am I creating? Social Studies Kahoot. A Social Studies Kahoot. Okay. Okay, let's go to a Find Kahoots real quickly. If you scroll down here to the bottom, you can click on history. I'm not sure what the topic is to be covered, but there's a load on here, so tons of things. I'm not sure exactly what you're looking for, but if you scroll through and see a topic that is interesting, it's kind of hard to tell from the title, so sometimes you just need to click on and see what it's talking about. George Washington. This one has only 2 questions, so that might be a good warm-up in the morning. Or we can go right back. And if you wanted to create a new Kahoot, it takes a little bit of prep time for me. I usually like to go in and save some images ahead of time. Just any? Okay. All right. I'm going to call this the American Revolution. We'll call this Name That Person. Okay. I'm going to find an image real quickly and have students name that person. So I'm just going to do images of George Washington. What? Oh, thank you. Okay. All right. We're going to save image. And we're going to call it George. No, I can't call it George because the kids will see his name. So we're going to call it history. All right. All right, I'm going to set my audience. Thank you for the reminder. And I'll say school again. Okay. So let's head back this way. All right, so to begin this American Revolution, I'm going to add a question, and they're going to be naming that person. So I'm going to put identify this man. And then all I would do after I've saved a few images would be just go back into my bank. And his picture is going to pop up. This Sam Adams. This Ben Franklin. Brian Dean or George Washington. Thank you. All right, we'll give these kids plenty of time. And I keep this yes on award points because that way, as the class is responding, kids can see if they're first, second, or third place, but you don't have to. So I'm going to mark the correct answer. Do next. And then all you would do for the next one, if I were making this one, I would post different pictures. I might post the picture of a state, or maybe have kids identify the 13 colonies. Is it the Northeast colonies or the regions of the United States? You can really make it whatever you would like. But after you do that, you hit save. And then I can share it with someone, edit it, preview it, or play it. So I'm going to choose play today. My Kahoot is loading. Again, here's my name generator so that Kahoot does the names for them. The podium is what levels them at first, second, and third place. And I like to keep the game pin throughout. So we're going to just do classic play. And then kids will join. And as soon as I have joiners, I just click start. I really hope that helped. If you have any more questions or you just need me to walk you through, I'll be happy to email you. Or honestly, I'll give you a phone call after school one day and help walk you through. I don't mind at all. Okay, someone's playing. Here we go. Oh, we have several players. I really hope that the 120 seconds is long enough for everyone. Like we've got 2 answers, so I'm going to skip on through. Look, both of you answered correctly. Congratulations. We have 2 winners today. And here's the path I took. Oh, I'm sorry. We had 3 winners and someone did not have long enough. I apologize. So we're now going to get our results. Dr. Dog is the winner. Saving the results. I'm going to save it to my drive. Kahoot results, save. And then when I go back to my drive in a few minutes, it should pop up for me. All right. Well, guys, thank you for joining today. Hope you enjoy your evening. We may have the world's longest webinar ever. Did that do it? Yes. But it's still not hanging up over there.